Broadcasting from the beautiful Great Lakes state of Michigan, I'm Tom Bartholomew, your host of the Michigan Contractor Show. And I worked in the construction industry for over 25 years. I started on a job site when I was 14, working for my dad on a vinyl siding job. Now I spend all my time running a digital marketing agency where I help contractors and companies in the skilled trade promote their business and reach customers in ways they never thought possible. Again, my name is Tom, and let's get to today's guest. My guest today is some software that you want to use to successfully run your business with a single piece of software solution built for service, project, and maintenance management with features for office and field. This cloud-based solution gives you everything you need to manage operations and grow your business. And with that, this is simPRO, and I want to welcome to you today the partner manager, Denise Duffell. Thanks for joining me today, Denise.
Hi, Tom. Thank you so much for having me. So yes, I'm a partner manager, and I work with business consultants, accountants, and coaches. And our goal is to help the contractor, that would be the client or the end user, to streamline their everyday processes. So how do we do this? And that's with simPRO. simPRO is a core add-on for end clients, central end-to-end job management system. And what it does is it connects the office to the field in one suite of apps, right? So we combine all aspects of the trade business into one centralized system, providing them with a single source of truth. So it is comprehensive, it's off the shelf, but it is, like you said, it's built for project, service, and maintenance businesses. So we are all about, centralizing that data, streamlining processes, and improving efficiencies.
Well, that sounds great. So this is definitely software this is the Michigan Contractor Show. So obviously the contractors, this is definitely a software for contractors. So this would be applicable for any of them, like roofers, exterior siding, windows, doors, any skilled trade this simPRO would be applicable for.
Yeah, correct. So it's simPRO was started in 2002 by an electrical contractor. So if you think man in a van, plumbers, landscaping, solar, anybody where there's an office and then there's people in the field. So it was started in 2002 by an electrical contractor, and he was based out of the UK. His name is Stephen Bradshaw. But he wanted to centralize his business because he was using sticky notes and Excel spreadsheets, and basically wanted to centralize all that in one location. So it's kind of a cool story. He started it in a garage. And when he realized that it was helping his business, he wanted to share that. And he knew that it would help, other businesses as well, not just electrical. So simPRO is a global company. It started in the UK, and then Steve moved the business to Australia. And then we have offices in New Zealand, the UK, Ireland, and the US. So we have about 400 employees globally and 7,000 customers and over 200,000 users. So it's a very awesome company, and built by a contractor, so he knows the industry.
Well, I think that's great. And what I love about Steve's story that you just shared with us is that he got frustrated with doing the same thing that I'm sure a lot of contractors do. Sticky notes, right? Excel or Google Sheets nowadays, right? I know a lot of people that are, and the Google suite of software is great, and it is, at no cost, but what this does is this does even more than just those Google Sheets. And that's why I think that story was great, because I think a lot of people can relate to that. For sure.
Right.
So, go ahead and kind of give me a little bit more of how this will help contractors.
Yeah, so it basically focuses on 3 workflows. So it's project, service, and maintenance. And it really consolidates all those workflows into one centralized platform. So again, if you think project, service, maintenance, and because we're industry specific, it's part of our pre-scoping with the clients to make sure it's actually a really good fit. So we don't want to just sell it to anybody. We want to make sure that it works for them and it's going to streamline and unify their workflow and their everyday processes.
Well, I think that's great. So let's kind of break it down. Let's talk about those three things a little bit: the project, the service, and the maintenance. Because I think that the more we can let people know what all this will do or how it will benefit them, the better. So let's start with the project. So I have a project. I'm going out hypothetically on a job site. How is this going to help me keep that in line or organized?
Well, what it does is, so what simPRO is it starts off with the estimating and quoting. So you'll get a lead in and you're going to do the estimate and quote, and then that's going to move on to a job. So it's basically a sales CRM. It follows the entire life cycle of that customer. So once you get the project, there's different sites, there's different materials, there's different, different technicians. And what it does is it consolidates it all into one view into that certain project.
Okay, I think that sounds really good because that happens a lot. You'll have different service people working on a job, a subcontractor, different people on your crew, and this will kind of help it keep everybody organized. I think that sounds like a great thing. So,
right.
So that's kind of the project part of it. It helps you kind of keep your project organized, people on the same page. What does the service part do?
It's similar to the project. So when you get that inquiry in, so we're scheduling guys out in the field. So we're really live tracking the job. Also, it's inventory management, stock control. We are then invoicing and pushing all that information to an accounting package. So in the background, there's a huge amount of detail. So with the service job, it might be go out, break fix, one time. And where the project would be longer periods of time, maybe 3 months, 6 months, a year. And you can really keep track of job costing through the software.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. I like that. I think that would make a contractor's life easier. Absolutely. So is this something that is this an app? Can I get this on my smartphone?
So what it is it's cloud-based. And it's accessible on any device as long as you have the internet. But we have a suite of apps, the mobile apps. It's iOS or Android. So when the technician's out in the field, they can log on, they can take photos. So it's a direct link back to the office and a live connection, right? So if you're on the job, you clock on, maybe you have pre-safety audit checks, you can do quoting, you can do purchase orders, all via this mobile app, and everything syncs from the office to the app and the app back to the office.
Wow. So if I'm in the field and you're in the office, when I enter something into the app, whatever that may be, a change order or whatever it is, you can see it right away.
Yes.
That was live tracking you said earlier.
It's live. Yeah. And the software is really reliable. It's backed up, secure in 7 different locations. And so when you start working with our clients on the implementation process, that's really part of simPRO and how we work with the clients. We gather all their information and put it all into the system so it's specifically built for that client or customer.
Well, that's great. And this is all integrated. You said earlier that this is like a CRM. So can you kind of maybe explain to people that maybe aren't familiar with the CRM what that does?
Sure. So basically it's sales CRM. So you get in that initial lead, and then from the lead, you're going to quote. And then from the quote, you're going to then create a job, and then you're scheduling and dispatching. And then from there, once the job is complete, we also integrate with QuickBooks and Xero. So it's an end to end. And then through that app, all the information that's in simPRO can also be reported. So we have over 55 different reports through simPRO for, say, work in progress, price discrepancy, job profit and loss. So those are just a few of them, but it really gives you the reporting where you're able to see the entire breadth of the business.
Wow. That would definitely be a great overview of what is happening with your company, especially as you get busier and busier. What size construction company would you say this is for? Is this for the the small handyman that works by himself most of the time and maybe has a subcontractor once in a while, or is this for a kind of a medium or a large business? What would you say this is for?
It's small to medium. So we have people, maybe there's, 3 people in the business. But then we also, our largest might be 200 employees. So it's really, and it's scalable. That's the great thing about simPRO. So if you're just getting started and you're thinking, well, I don't probably need software, it will help you, because as your business grows, then simPRO will scale with that business. So it's really made for small businesses as well. So not just your larger companies.
I like that. It grows with you. So, right,
Correct.
you should start it when you are that handyman or you're doing the smaller jobs because you just got your builder's license and you're starting to work up, or your electrical license, whatever it is. Start it now so it can scale with you. So you learn how to use everything. Let's talk about learning how to use, because that's big nowadays. Things got to be easy, or at least what kind of an onboarding do you use for customers? I just signed up. Am I
Right.
just sent off on my own to figure it out, or how do you guys help us with that?
No, so we have a team of 20 implementation people in the US. So they will work with you, they'll hold your hand. It's usually 4 to 6 day process. So what they do is they have an initial call where they get all the information from the customer. And they, now with COVID, it can be online, but typically we'll go to the office and then we'll work with them to set it up. And then we have the initial call. And then we go and we gather all the information, like what's important to that specific client. And then we get it all put into simPRO. And then we have the training process. And usually the go live is probably 30 to 60 days. It just depends on the, all the information you get into simPRO and how many people are using it. So usually the go live will be 30 to 60 days. But the implementation team is amazing. But not only that, we have 24/7 service. So that's a person on a phone. We also have a chat, or you can submit a case. But simPRO prides themselves because we're global and we have so much support. We also have what's called a walk me through. So basically you will click on how to put in a customer, and it'll actually show you in the software where to go. So it's little highlights of where to click. We also have a help guide, just like it sounds. You just type in whatever you need, very robust. And then we also have an LMS learning tool. So that's what I call simPRO University. So you'll go in there, there's modules. So if you have employees that come on, in the future, you can set up, a little learning guide, or it's self-paced, to where they can really get up to speed with the software. But again, once you go live, the client goes live, we're there all the way. They have, so they have all that support, but then they also have someone assigned to them, a sales manager, that myself, any of the partner managers that, can help them with whatever they need.
Well, that sounds very up to date with current trends, because that's the current thing. When you get a software, I was just going through I use Adobe for a lot of my design work. I do,
Right.
I help contractors with marketing, and I use Adobe software for a lot of stuff. And I was going through Lightroom the other day, and it was showing me, like you were just saying, very interactive. So I can envision what you're talking about, because I think that's pretty standard nowadays, and you have the learning. So I think you guys are definitely on, right up there. It sounds like very easy to use, easy to implement with the training. So depending on what type of learning style they have, you guys have those options.
Right. So what the implementation team does is they take all the information from that client, customers, their employees. So it's also an employee cards, their labor rates. It will also have your subcontractors, contractors. So everything that you need for your business that might have been on spreadsheets or, in different places, we implement it integrate it into simPRO. And then that's basically what you call the backbone of the business. And then obviously, as you go along, you add on to your client base and your jobs and your quotes. And within simPRO, when you log in, there's 4 dashboards. There's also security rights. So if you're the On the accounting side, maybe you don't need to see the scheduling, but so there's 4 different dashboards. There's a service dashboard where you can see where everybody is for the day, what jobs, plants and materials, where that's located. Then the second dashboard would be an accounts dashboard where you can see what's due 30, 60, 90 days. simPRO is trigger based, so you can set triggers. So if the invoices haven't been paid within 30 days, it'll send reminders for 30, 60, 90 days out, however you want to set those triggers. And then we also have a sales dashboard where you get everything in simPRO as a job is a cost center. So you can see where you're making the money in the business. And then finally, we have what you talked about earlier, the projects dashboard, which is really important. So you can see the life of that project, what's been invoiced to date, what's outstanding, how much you've spent on that job, and you can really see whether that job is making money at that specific point in time.
Wow. I think what you talked about right at the very beginning of that little segment where you guys will do the work and put all my information in for me. Because I think that a lot of hesitation that I know I have, and I'm sure other people do, is when I look at new software is, man, how am I going to implement this? How am I going to bring all my information from QuickBooks or a spreadsheet or whatever, and I got to figure out how to implement it into this new thing. Do I got to enter it one at a time? You're saying you guys will do that?
Yes. Like I said, we have 20 people in the U.S. That will work with the customer, take all that information. And then not only that, like I said, our customer support. So they're never left alone. It might be a lot of work at the beginning, but it's well worth it. I mean, simPRO is really takes everything that you normally would have in all different locations and combines that into that centralized single source of truth, right? And then again, you're connected to the office and the field in just that one, centralized system.
Well, Denise, I think this stuff is great. And if people watching it think it's great, they can go to simprogroup.com, and I'll put that down in the show notes. They can go right there and check it out. What else? When we started, I introduced you as the partner manager. Can you tell me a little bit about what a partner manager does?
Sure. So what my role is in simPRO is, so I try to partner with business consultants, coaches, accountants, anybody that works with people in your industry, in the contracting industry, because our goal at the end of the day is to be an advisor to those people. So I work with them to help their clients, which are the contractors, plumbers, electricians, to really, centralize everything into one location for their entire business. So, if you can be on the golf course, or you can be, anywhere and have a bird's eye view of what's going on with your business for that day.
Well, that sounds like a very nice feature where I could just be anywhere. Like you mentioned, the golf course. Not that anybody would be on the golf course during a working day, but you could still have your thumb on the pulse of your business, right? Let's say you have a client meeting and that customer, you're wooing them on the golf course because they're a high ticket. They've worked with you a lot. That I could still keep my thumb right on top of what's happening. I can see real time what my guys are doing in the field, what they're doing in the office, and there's no wondering while I was out there for 4 hours what happened during the day.
Right. Yeah. And it really does, it eases the pain of wondering, where you are in your business. Like I said, it's just, one dashboard, and you can look at 4 different sections and see exactly, what's going on in a high level view for the day in your company.
Well, I think that this sounds like a great time-saving, probably some stress-relieving type software for a contractor that's getting busy. And what I also liked or thought about as you were talking about the implementation of this and how you have your technicians that are helping and everything. That would be even a better reason to start when you're smaller, is because getting everything implemented would seem a lot easier and then grow with your business. It would seem a lot easier in the beginning.
And the reason why our implementation process is so important is because simPRO only has a 30-day rolling contract. So you're not tied, it's every 30 days, it rolls over. You can dial up your licenses, you can dial down. We have the enterprise license, and then we also have the mobile app license for technicians that are service are out in the field. So simPRO really works hard, for our clients, because it is only a 30-day rolling contract.
Wow, that's amazing. So really no long-term contracts. You guys are doing the implementation. Super easy, going to probably save me money in the long run. I sign up at simprogroup.com. Sign me up. Sounds like a great deal.
Yes, and they can also reach out to me, Denise.Duffell at simpro.us. So it's just my first and last name. But if they reach out to you, I'm sure you'll be happy to give them my information.
Absolutely. And I'm going to put that in the show notes. I'll put your email right there as well, and a link to the simprogroup.com website as well. So they can just go there and find it really easily. Well, that's been great. Denise, anything else and kind of at the end that you'd like to say about simPRO or anything?
No, I really appreciate it. It was, it's very kind of you to have me on, but I'd be happy, just reach out to me, and then we'll be happy to give you a demo of our software. And I'm sure once they see it, they'll want to sign up.
Well, I think so. You have me sold. If I was still doing construction, I would definitely be using simPRO, that's for sure. And I'll definitely recommend it to my customers, because that's what I do, is marketing for contractors. But I appreciate you, Denise. Thank you so much for your time. And if you like this video, let us know down in the comments. Subscribe to the channel. Go ahead and give this video a thumbs up, and reach out to Denise. Right down in the show notes, you can find all of her contact information. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you next Tuesday. Thanks, Denise.
Thank you very much.
If you would like to be a guest on this show, head on over to MichiganContractorShow.com. Fill out the form. I'll get back to you and we'll figure out the best time and date for you to make an appearance on this show. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next Tuesday.